or the UT Counseling Center. And if you would like to know more about those, we would love to speak with you on the pedestrian walkway tomorrow.
All right, that'll be all right. Kevin.
Last semester, many members of the SGA were unaware of the proposed changes to the undergraduate grading scale, despite the body having been addressed by a university official under the previous administration. How will you ensure communication between administrations goes smoothly?
James.
Oh, I think it's an effort that has to deal with cooperation between the Student Government Association and the administration. I think that it was more of a one-sided, a lopsided deal last semester with the grading scale, and they didn't really consult the students before it went through. It was one of those things that we were kind of more forced upon and get ready to deal with this instead of, hey, what do you guys think about this? It's something that we're going to do instead of something that this is what we'd like to do.
Samuel.
Addressing the issue of the GPA scale here just briefly, I was the only one that I can recall that was in full support of the change, honestly, and I feel that it could be only a good thing to have more accurate grades at our university, and I addressed this in the student newspaper and was scolded by the SGA for addressing the public sector in that fashion. Again, I think the communication with the administration goes back to apathy. When you have over half of the student government that should be kicked out because they're not following the most basic and not fundamental, but just basic, and like the reason you're in SGA is to pass legislation, and half the people aren't doing that, then there's definitely a problem, and that can go in a lot of directions. And I think it definitely relates back to communication with the administration.
Jeff.
Just as he said, communication with the administration, that is one of our main points on the Connect campaign. When the grading scale thing did come about, I know, like you said, the vice provost did come and speak to the SGA body as we were making the transition from one SGA administration to the next last year. There were a lot of us that were aware of it, but then again, it was in the middle of a very hectic time for most of us. It might have gotten lost in the transition, but then again, we did hear it, so we can't blame the administration for not coming to us. One thing I do believe that was a problem was nobody took it as seriously as they thought. As looking in hindsight, it's 2020, right? And we look back at it now. Well, we should have made a bigger effort to get out there and get the students' opinion on it before it came up again last semester as an actual change that was going to place, and then everybody was going around confused at what was going on. And that's where the communication comes in place. I think one of the things that we're going to do as Connect is make sure that communication stays between administration and students. If there's an issue such as the grading scale change, it's a huge, huge effect on students. And I believe that with us staying in communication with the administration, making sure that if a big change like that is going to happen, that we have input on it beforehand, rather than coming up and saying, okay, well, this is what's going to happen. What do you think about it now?
All right, let me stop you there. Margaret.
Okay, SGA has a lot of events, a lot of outreach programs as far as dining services, events supporting athletics, anything like that. But I want to know, what is one thing your party offers, or an event as far as an initiative, that has never been offered before?
Samuel.
I don't think events are really that important, to be honest with you. That goes back to a lot of things, specifically what a lot of people can relate to right now, campaign week. Shouldn't it be more about what we can accomplish in the university than how many pizza parties we can have during the school year, where you can come and tell us what you're concerned with? Again, I think that events really aren't the issue.
Jeff.
I think campaign week is a crucial part of the entire SGA body. What better time to come out and voice your concerns than when you have a pizza party, per se, and you come out there and you get to hear. I've heard so much just on this campaign trail of actual students coming up, and when you ask them, I mean, students want to tell somebody something, but a lot of times they're confused at who to tell. I think SGA week is a huge, huge thing, and one of the things that we're working with. You say what kind of event? SGA has always played a role in move-in weekend for the freshmen. It's a great time for the freshmen. It's their first chance away from their parents. They're off on their own, and they get here, and it's mass chaos pretty much. One of the things that we're working with is to create more of a formalized plan to move in, where each residence hall floor would have a designated time to move in, and there would be more I guess, conglomeration, or you would get to meet everybody on your floor at the same time with you're already there to check you in.
All right, let me stop you there. James.
I think events are very important for quality of life and the college experience itself. I think we have a great plan, Jennifer, Tamir, and myself, to promote more diverse events, things that pertain to all students, such as homecoming or some of the random events that happen across campus. I think that we can work well with this, and also athletics. It's a huge issue sometimes with, say, the basketball tickets or the football tickets. People wait in line for 10 hours sometimes for those tickets, and maybe we need to take a look at it probably, just to make sure that students aren't doing badly in classes because they're camped out for a basketball game. I think we play a great role with the administrators in a lot of things. The campus as a whole for events to make ground on things and to enjoy life. I think that we have a diverse plan and something that will encompass a lot of students.
All right. Kevin will have the next question, and try to keep your answers to within a minute if you would, because we're starting to run out of time. Kevin?
What is your opinion of the relationship between student government and the campus media, and what do you think that relationship should look like?
Jeff.
Well, everything I've ever dealt with the Beacon and TVC has been very positive. I believe that we have some great people who are students, and I like the students' participation with the student media and the publications. And I think they're doing a really good job covering what goes on campus. And I'm a huge fan of the Beacon. Read it every day. I think it's a great opportunity for students to actually get that firsthand experience in an actual publication that runs every day. And I love how there's a ton of student involvement. And you don't even have to be an actual Beacon employee to write for the Beacon. It's another great thing, I think.
James.
I think media is very well on campus. I think they do a great job, but there is an issue. There's a barrier between the Student Government Association and the media because we don't get everything out there that goes on. We need to work on this. We need to work on the public relations that we have with a lot of the media, because we need to make sure the students are informed on what's going on, and a lot of the times this falls through the cracks, and we'd like to improve on that if we possibly could.
Samuel.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that the Beacon seems to be like the only place you can hear about SGA stuff, because the website hasn't been updated in literally a year. You can't find out what bills have been passed. You can't find out who's coming to meetings. You can't find out who isn't writing any bills. The only thing you hear about is in the Beacon. To that same effect, though, I will say that I've written the Beacon multiple times, letters to the editor, and they've refused to, write my party affiliation within my editorial, which is something I think that the Student Government Association should adopt and will help establish more accountability within the actual organization once you relate back to a group outside of this week and a half, and then everything is on its own again until the next year.
Margaret?
Okay, I've asked this before and I want to reiterate it. I asked the vice presidential candidates, but what would you tell someone who questions the relevance of a student government association on their campus, and what would you do to encourage them to get more involved as well?
James.
I think the Student Government Association is very important because we have the tools and the leadership experience and the drive to get things done, and I think we really play a liaison between the students and the administration. We'd like to get out there and make more things known. We'd like to hear the voices of the students and the concerns that they have. I think small events or encouragement to have the president, vice president, and services director get out there, go to lunch with some students, have a forum, go to the dorms, just to hear what they have to say is very important, because the students are the people who give us the drive and the encouragement to do all this stuff, and I think we need to keep our base and remember where we came from.
Samuel, is SGA relevant?
I would reply to that by saying it's what you make of it, and obviously what I've shown, 40 people haven't written bills and should have